Hey everybody, this is Paddy from OddsOnFPL. I'm going to be doing a video here explaining my plans for Game Week 5 and the transfers which I'm thinking about doing. If you want to stick around, you'll get to see what that is. So you're still there, great. So my plan here is just to talk about the team. I don't generally suggest you do transfers like this early because there's any sort of injuries. There's also the European Cup game, so players could get injured. So these are just plans, they're not an action. So I would always suggest that you wait, but there's a good few suggestions in here and there's players that I'm going to be thinking about getting out. First off, I'm just going to discuss last week. Got 69 points, which will go up to 72 because Chilwell didn't play again. Shock horror. That's one of those decisions which just was wrong. I should have gone with Alonso. I thought Chilwell would have come back in straight away, but it just hasn't worked out that way, has it? Looking at the rest of the team, Trent, Xavier, Ronaldo, great decision on a free transfer as well. Looking at the bench, Harrison's going to come in for Chilwell. Gundogan and Torres did sweet feck all, but you know, that's how it goes. Salah was good, and then Antonio got the silly red card at the end. So yeah, there's some decisions to make. Like looking at my team right now, the most glaringly obvious ones are Chilwell, Toney, Antonio, and potentially what to do with Gundogan or Torres. Do I really want to double up on them, especially with Kevin De Bruyne coming back? So yeah, it's a bit of a headache, but overall, my overall rank's under 500k. Haven't used my wildcard, haven't used any chips, so I'm ticking along nicely. Some things haven't gone the way, but realistically, I'm happy with how it's going. Right now, I'm just going to ask you to do something. We've reached 1,000 subscribers on the channel, which is insane, really. I didn't think we'd get there that quickly, and I don't really know, like, what we can do with this. Can we get 2,000? I think that's a realistic goal. So yeah, hopefully we get 2,000 subscribers, and we do, that'd be great. I don't really know what it means, but yeah, great. This game week I'm going to make some decisions. As I've already said, there's some players that I'm unsure about. Looking at this, it's a tableau, a public tableau created by Tim Bayer. And looking at this here, there's a few teams that you don't really want players from. As I've already said, Brentford are one of them. Because look at their fixtures. Wolves away, Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester in the next 5. It's not great. But then the same could be said for, let's say, West Ham. If we skip ahead, like as in because West Ham aren't going to be playing this game week, so Antonio's not going to be somebody in there. We skip this going forward, this refreshes. So this is going to the fixture after. You see West Ham have Leeds, Brentford, Everton, Spurs, Villa, Liverpool in the next 6. Antonio's a sell. As in, even regardless of how much good form he's in, if you're holding him, you're just holding him because of those first 3 game weeks. Looking at the fixtures here, Leeds have great fixtures, so Antonio can easily go to somebody like Patrick Bamford if you have the budget for it, which we have 0.4 in the bank, so we can. But then you could also look at somebody like Ben Chilwell, and Ben Chilwell can easily go to Semedo. But then, as well as that, look at these fixtures here, like Chelsea have. After City, it's green, 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 green. The grass is greener. But the worry is he doesn't start. But I do think that he probably will start sooner or later once he gets some minutes into his legs. So, looking at this, you think that Toney or, let's say, Antonio are the two Toneys are the ones that you want to get rid of. So looking at the fixtures player-wise, you could consider bringing in Bamford for the more expensive one, or wall striker like Jimenez. But then, let's say if you look at Southampton, if you want to get rid of Toney, you could bring in somebody like Adam Armstrong, who's playing as the lone striker in a 4-1-4-1. Armando Broja looked good as well. He's a 5 million pick. He's on loan from Chelsea. He almost scored twice when he came on in the final 15 minutes. Everton as well have really good fixtures. So you could, if you have the money for it, bring in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's a captaincy choice against Norwich next week as well, because Norwich look leaky. Leicester as well, I don't really want Jamie Vardy and I can't afford him. But then you could also have Emmanuel Dennis or Josh King, who play as a striker. So if you want to consider some players to get rid of, like as in Chilwell is definitely one of them. So yeah, looking at those fixtures, if Chilwell's 5.7 million, you can realistically bring in Rudiger because he's pretty much nailed on. Christensen looks like he could be, but then Thiago Silva's back. Then you could also bring in somebody like Semedo from Wolves. But you could also bring in Junior Firpo from Leeds and then have more money in the bank. Leeds have a few good defensive options, but do you think they're going to keep clean sheets? Personally, not. Their fixtures are good, but they don't look good defensively. Wolves, in contrast, do. So there is a few players there. Marcal has 2 assists, but they're both fluky. And then Semedo could have scored twice, but he's awful in front of goal. Somebody like Coady at 4.5 million as well offers a bit of an aerial threat. So there is players in there. And then as well with Arsenal, you have Kieran Tierney. So Chilwell could be somebody who's leaving the team, and he could be just replaced by a teammate, considering how good Chelsea's fixtures are. If going on from that, then as well as that, another player that we have to consider getting rid of is Ivan Toney. Brentford's next few fixtures are terrible. Like, as in their game against Wolves is their only good one, which is the only reason why I don't think he's an immediate transfer need out. He's been okay, as in considering it's a different standard, but after Wolves, it's Liverpool at home, West Ham away, Chelsea at home, Leicester at home, Burnley away. You don't see many goals there for Brentford. Brentford have looked good since coming up, considering there's a gulf in class. But for Toney, I mean, those are not fixtures you want to target. Looking at sides which have easier fixtures, like let's say if you keep him this week, you could bring in somebody from Southampton. Their fixtures aren't too bad. Or if you have a bit of budget, you could bring in somebody like Chris Wood. Or with Newcastle having players out, you could bring in Alan St. Maximin because he's playing up top. Then Norwich as well, it might be an idea to bring in Teemu Pukki because he's cheaper and he's an easy transfer in. Norwich's fixtures as well are not bad. Watford at home, Everton away, Burnley away, Brighton at home. Next 4, that's pretty good. So Toney could be a transfer out this game week. That's just something to consider. Watford as well also have a few cheap options like Josh King. Watford's next fixture is against Norwich away, Newcastle at home, Leeds away. Decent fixtures. So Toney could be somebody who's easily making way. One player who a lot of people are going to say this is a terrible idea because of how well he's performed is getting rid of Mikel Antonio. Mikel Antonio has gone up to 7.9 million, so a lot of people have money invested in him, especially with the amount that you'll lose if you sell him. But West Ham's fixtures are not good, and he's suspended for the next one. Leeds away, Brentford, both good, but then there's Everton, Spurs, Villa, I think Man City as well. So realistically, he's just not that interesting of an asset. I think West Ham, especially a few of their players, have overperformed like Benrahma. So I think he's an easy move out. And then when you look at the fixtures of Leeds, Wolves, Everton, there's options there that you can get him rid of. So Leeds have Bamford, Wolves have Jimenez, Everton have Dominic Calvert-Lewin. These are all good picks. So they're all players that you could get rid of them for. And they've all got better fixtures. If you have the money, Antonio to Bamford is such an easy decision. Newcastle away next, then they're playing West Ham, so that's a 1v1, so you'll see who's better there. But then they've also got Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. Their fixtures are immense. The same goes for Wolves. They've got Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle in the next 3. And then they've got Aston Villa away. And there's a chance that that fixture against Aston Villa, they may be without Martinez for that. So both of those sides have goals in them. So it's just something to consider. Right now, looking at my team, I'm just going to have a gander, go back to it here. So this was the last week's team. Looking at it, I'm probably going to keep Chilwell. I'll get rid of a few players, but then looking at the best captaincy for this week, I mean, you're going to have to consider Ronaldo. Like, even West Ham away is a tough fixture. But then there's like Torres and Gundogan playing at Southampton at home. Torres could be a captaincy option. Very, very likely. But then, if you brought in somebody like Bamford's playing Newcastle away. That's a game where there's goals in it. And if you want to go for a differential here, you could go with Trent. But looking at it, if you are going to captain somebody this week, it's 100% going to be Salah. Like, there's no 2 ways about it. It's against Crystal Palace at home. Those goals and that. Palace have looked good, but Salah against Crystal Palace at home, you have to captain them in that. So that's been my sort of team reveal for this week. I guess I haven't done it, so let me just do it really quick. So I'm just going to open up Fantasy Football here. Let's go back to this one here. So this game week. So this is the team right now. So Salah's on captaincy, Ronaldo vice. So the one thing that I have to do is transfer out Antonio, Chilwell, or somebody else. Toney. So yeah, it's most likely going to be Antonio to Bamford this week, and then I'll keep the captain on Salah and keep the vice on Ronaldo. I think the rest of the team's looking pretty well. I don't have to take a hit this week because the amount of money that I have in the bank for Antonio. Overall, I think the team's looking okay. So yeah, just the one transfer for Antonio out. The fixtures are too good to ignore. Like, if you're looking at these fixtures, they're just too difficult to ignore. Too easy. And then if you look at West Ham's, they're not easy. And then with the suspension as well, his price is probably going to drop even further. So yeah, that's been a quick video on my team reveal for this week. It's the one transfer which is most likely going to be Antonio out for Patrick Bamford. But there's also the chance that it could be Toney out and then bringing in somebody from Watford or potentially somebody different from Norwich like Teemu Pukki or Josh King. These are just considerations. As I've said already, I won't be making a transfer straight away purely because of the fact there's no point. There's the risk of your players who are playing in Europe getting injured. Salah could get injured in Europe. Hell, even Ronaldo could get injured in Europe. So there's no point in playing an early transfer because you'll only have to take a hit in case other players get injured. It's always better waiting, even if there is price falls and things like that. So that's just my decision for that. So yeah, anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, put a comment, say what you think about the transfer for Antonio out. You probably won't agree with it, but I've made my decision on it and I think it's the right one. I think Bamford's going to score a lot of points over the next few weeks and it's better being early than late. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, anyway, I've been Paddy. I'll chat to you later.